we go, yes we are. Right, just going to show you the setup of my kayak. I'm based in Plymouth and mostly kayak around Devon, but mostly in Cornwall. There's four main things that we use our kayaks for: fishing, scuba diving and snorkeling, exploring, especially in Cornwall. There's a lot of sea caves and old mines and all that sort of thing we do, and obviously camping as well. I've done quite a few mods to my kayak. They're ideal for what I use. Not every mod or idea will be suitable for you, but I'm pretty sure you'll have some sort of idea that you can use on your own kayak. Let's start at the back first. Obviously, main one is the outriggers. Made a massive difference. I'm quite used to paddling in some quite rough water. The only time I did tip it out was when I simply turned around to get into my box. Stupid mistake. But since fitting these, made a huge difference. I've even been able to stand up and cast fishing. Nice, stable, which is what I like. Right at the back. First things I did, this handle on this particular model was actually situated right at the front here, which made it awkward for carrying. So I simply just moved it right to the back, so when you're carrying it, you're not banging your legs on the kayak. Just take my box out a minute. Cargo area. Like I say, when depends on what kind of I want to use my kayak for. If I'm scuba diving, obviously I'll have no box in the back. My gear and everything can sit in the back here. Put this hatch in the back, which allows me to just connect the two wires. I basically just got on the pole that I've got for the lights, 4 lights, very bright. GoPro attachment on the top. Simple 2 wires that I just connect it in through the hatch there, through the back. Plus it's quite handy. Not only you can, when I go camping, we actually stuff a load of stuff in there. Plus for your wires and everything for the lights, which I'll get to in a minute. You get to voltage reader, and obviously waterproof socket. You can get these now, as most of you know, with the USB. I just use an adapter for the USB. Just stick my box back in. Box, very useful. Anything on my kayak I like to have multi-uses for, so you can use them for more than one thing. This is a simple fishing tackle box, especially here in England. A lot of the freshwater anglers use them. Completely enclosed. I simply put the bungees on, put these brackets on, and just simply clip down in place. Absolutely sturdy, solid, and waterproof. Obviously it's a box, so it can be used for my fishing and for camping or anything like that. Flat surface, so I can, obviously the bungees, I can stretch them over, join the two together and put something on the top as well. Simply added the rod holders, it's to this side, but the two on the side here is not actually not designed for the rods. It's actually designed for my paddle. When I'm actually at anchor and fishing, I can put this out of the way. That the paddle will just simply sit in there like that, out of the way, completely out of the way while I'm fishing. When I'm fishing at anchor, that sits in there. Pick it up and we'll use it afterwards. This, if I'm just normal fishing and I want to be able to get into my hatch easy, I just have this which I put on, which holds the lid down but it's easy if when I turn around and want to get into it. But if I'm camping, I'm like absolute shield. These two here, I'll just push that forward and they lock into place. Absolutely solid, that's not coming apart at all. Or if, like when I'm coming ashore, any chance of rough water going through the waves, that lid's not opening, everything's secured down. Push it open, and then it just, you see, they just, because that's slightly bowed in, they sit over it. Good thing about these boxes, because we take, like say, when we go ashore, we can use that as a seat. We mostly use it as a table when we're camping, you know, putting things on it. The good thing about these, these come with these trays just clip on the side. You put them on 3 sides. You've got extra stuff just to store, keep your stuff off the sand and all that sort of thing. Useful tackle box. Come around my anchor. Normal trolley system, which I'm sure most of you are aware of. Clips into it. Diver's reel. But you'll see my anchor, when it's handheld, sits in there, which is absolutely snug, and just pulls out. And also, the chain just sits in there, like that. That simple plumbing pipe, that 3-inch pipe. And what I did, you'll see it's not actually, because that's round, but that's square. See the shape? And that's actually the go thing. What I did was put the anchor in like that, and then with a hot air gun, I simply heated it up, and then it bent to the shape of the anchor. What I also did is put some Gorilla Tape around that, just to give it extra, because obviously when you're pushing that, you like sort of like wedging it out, because I like to wedge it in, because you see that's solid in. So again, should I ever, God forbid, tip it over, the anchor's not going to fall out. Nice and neat, simple. Give it strong up. Seat, aftermarket seat, not an expensive one, but I like it because it's got the bag on the back, which I can keep all my tackle in, my rig wallets. It came with just like a strap, but what I did is actually bolted it in stronger and actually fixed it on the box. It was a bit flimsy. Most of us get a numb-ass, simple, padded thing. What that's actually designed for is from a garden centre, is, you know, to kneel on. You know, like when you're kneeling down, working in the garden. Simple, just a cushion basically. Sits in there, stops your ass going numb. Now you probably notice I've got 4. I've actually got 6. There's 2 more at the front. What these are, again, simple plumbing things. Length of pipe, which is a tubing, which goes down to the bottom of the kayak. It's fixed to the bottom, it's fixed to the top, and they've got screw cap. So what you've actually got then is storage. I have got some tubes that just slot in there, which I can store things if you know, like baiting needles, things like that. I've got another one if I'm camping, firelighters, anything like that. It's just some storage. But of course, because it's an upright, you've also got, it comes, you know, if you wanted to, it can be another rod holder just while you're moving about or anything like that, or anything you think. But what I have done also, do you remember the trays with slots on there? They also, something on the corner, slots in there like that, and you can turn it out of the way around, or I can put it in that one. That, same on that side, when screwing them, goes in like that, and I can turn them out around sideways like that, which is really handy when I'm sat in the kayak. Put my bait in there, put my worms on one side, squid or whatever in the other side. It's really handy. And you can see you can turn it round, you can put your sandwiches, whatever the hell you like in it. Useful thing. Like I say, once you've got these tubes, you can use them for whatever. See, I've also got 2 more at the front, which again, you either have the caps on, keeps on. Sometimes, even if we're going out a long way, I'll have a flare sits in one of there, so you can pull out. But anything you drop in there, you've got to remember to put a piece of string or something like that, so you can hook it out and pull it out again. But of course, you got it right. You make it for rod holders at the front if you wanted. whatever, GoPro mount, anything like that. It's simple. But I'd say these are just ordinary 42mm pipes with a connector on the top, and there's an inspection hatch which you can get any plumbing place that you want. Got that. This particular model of kayak didn't have a centre console. It was just like a flat piece of plastic and a drinks holder in the middle there. So I made my own. The whole box is made out of UPVC, which you get on the fascia and soffits of the houses. It was white, just white plastic basically. Simple made the box, made a tray to sit in it. Comes out. My fishing tackle sits inside there. I have 2 batteries on this kayak. That one stays in there all the time. And you can see I've got my switches for my lights. That's got my main power one, which powers my fish finder, anything like that. But then I've got 2 other ones. This one, I'll flick that on, you'll see it lights up. You've got lights front and back. You've got the blue neons seen from the air. You've got the front ones, and we've got another set on both sides at the back. Now, obviously lights are useful. We do a lot of fishing at night, or even when we come back, it's nearly always dark when we come back, so it's really handy to have lights on. But what we often do is go in Cornwall, especially North Cornwall, there's a lot of sea caves. When you go in there middle of the day, it's pitch black in there, and some of the caves are quite long and quite dark, so having some lights on is quite handy. What you'll also notice is on the lights, I have another set of a pair on the front, which get around, which has actually got 3 settings. So you got, you can just see on the shed the light. That's like a dip beam. It has a flashing like a strobe, but then you have the main one which lights, which is again it's handy because you can just see forward, see where the hell you're going. And again, like in the caves, it just lights up directly in front of you. The ones on the sides are great because they hit the water and reflect off as well. But that is actually quite handy, just seems straightforward, especially even when you're coming back onto a slipway or anything like that. Turn the lights off. Tray there. Under the tray, under the lid, I just simple piece of plastic. Keep the usual things like right handy, which is the pliers. That's held down simply with a bungee. That's great. Mounting brackets, stainless steel. You see them over the kayak, which is simply when I'm clipping my rods in with my leashes, which I haven't got on at the moment, so I can either clip them in there on the side or whatever I want. Just you never have enough of those. On the sides here, I've got 4 of these. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, which are magnet strips. Often when you get your lures out, especially when you're moving around, they just stick to the thing. Other lures, it just stops them. What you normally do, throw them in the bottom there. And just hold on the hooks or just hold them, anything like that. Even your little swivels and all that, just handy. Even your knife if you want to, or clip to it. Useful thing. My fish finder didn't come on a, I don't think they make like a splash guard or sun visor for these. I've seen some, but they seem to be huge. So I simply made my own. Again, perspex. You can heat it up so you can get the slight. Once you've got the shape of the fish finder, you can see it's slightly curved. Again, simple. Heating it up with a hot air gun to mold the shape. Bit on the back. Then I simply put Velcro on the sides. It just puts it on there, holds it in place. Obviously, my GPS just sits on the back that I've got on the front. Simple, no problem. Forward hatch, I think straightforward. What I noticed is these straps I like it nice and tight, so this sits down tight, and they just seem to creep slightly. So I simply did what has got it to the position I wanted, and I simply glued them down. Keeps them nice and neat, and it keeps that nice and tight. You'll see 4 more brackets. As for the spider bungees, so when I go camping, I can just clip it there, and hold something on the lid. Now, stuck to the inside of the lid, first aid kit. It's obviously not just a first aid kit. What I've got here is, should I ever get a hole in my kayak, I've got like an emergency patch. This is actually what I use on roofing for flashing. This is really expensive, but I had an offcut. You can get much cheaper flashing, but it's got like an aluminium foil in the middle of it, and it sticks, and it really does stick. So you could literally patch up a hole. So obviously you can cut it with scissors still. You could patch a hole to get you out of an emergency. And it just sits in there. So we've got electrics, spare electric kit, just for repairs or whatever, like some fittings and all that sort of thing. Obviously first aid kit, lighter, and a couple spare tools, just for whatever, should I ever need it. And that simply always stays just underside of the lid. This lid did have a tether to it, which was annoying, like, because the only time I ever take it off is either when I'm ashore or in emergencies, and it's handy because you can carry it like that and use it to kit and put stuff inside it. You know, it's a bit like a tray, which is handy. Inside of the lid, you'll see I fitted this, which is actually like an automotive thing, like just puts over the edge. It not only makes it look a bit neater, but when the lid sits on it, it sits nice and tight and keeps it everywhere it should be. Inside, main junction box, all the wires, all the junctions for all of the wires for the electrics, for the lights and everything goes into there, keeps it neat. There you'll see my second battery, which is a bigger battery, just held in, sits in the thing, held in with Velcro. I only put that one in if I'm going to be fishing all night or on camping trips, so much longer, you know, going away for longer trips. Doubles the power by quite a lot. But I'll say the other battery in the centre